Welcome back to the Solomon Project, y'alls. Where it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep that counts. I'm your host, Richard Burns. I want to draw your attention to the description below. It won't happen now while we're live, but after the live, you will find this information in the description below. You will find several content creators, excellent content creators, that you might be interested in checking out. Also, in the description below, you're going to find 4 separate brokers. I remember this time Acorns and forgot the rest. Robinhood, Webull, and Mumu. Of the 4, Acorns is different. Acorns is different because it's basically set it and forget it. Whereas with the other 3, you have much more you can do. Now, keep in mind that nothing mentioned here in this channel is or should be considered financial advice or tax advice or legal advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, okay? Good. Interesting thing about Acorns that I found out. So when you connect Acorns with your bank account, you can have automatic transfers into the account, and it does a sweep with your debit card. You know how sometimes you purchase something and they ask you if you have some cents remaining, if you want to donate those cents to whatever it is that they're patronizing. Well, instead of that, Acorns has it so that if you purchase something and it's $19.13, well, they'll carry over whatever will take you up to $20. So the difference between 19.23 and 20, and they'll use that difference and transfer it to your Acorns account. So they usually call them roundups. So Acorn does the roundup and it goes right to your Acorns account. And of course, Acorns automatically invests whatever dividends you receive. So you'll have your dividends, you'll have your roundups, and you have whatever amount you decide to contribute to your account on a weekly basis, bi-weekly, monthly, whichever you choose. That's a huge advantage because it keeps you committed. And after a while, you get used to having that whatever amount that is automatically gone from your reach. It's basically like what my mother encouraged me to do, which was not to put any money in my pocket when I went out unless I was prepared to spend it, because that's usually what happens when you have money in your pocket. When you don't have money in your pocket, you walk around. You might window shop, but you know you don't have the money on you. And this was back in the day before we had debit cards and stuff like that. So we're talking about maybe 100 years ago. I'm going to do a quick mic check. That wasn't the mic check. But let's go. I think I hear myself. Ooh, It sounds good too. Okay. Well, I know the mic is working. Customer or investor? Does it matter? It might. It might. It might matter. When you're a customer, you're transferring what I call your power. Your power is your money. You're transferring your power to a company, a corporation. And you are a part of many people that transfer their powers into this entity. What does that entity represent to you in terms of your well being, your community's well being? Because there are entities out there that don't give a damn about you, your people, your family, your community. They don't care about that. All they care is that you just up up your money, up your money, transfer your power toward them, and they increase their power. If you remember not too long ago, and this is an example of what I mean by the transfer of power and how significant it is. The Black American community decided to boycott Target over a policy, over DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. As a result, Target did take a hit financially. It impacted their bottom line. And it was reported that it did impact them. They couldn't hide that fact. So it does matter if you decide to transfer your power. See, that was a statement that was made by a community. That was a vote casted by a community, and it made a difference. However, there are people that don't think about that. They don't think about the fact that when they transfer their power, they're also casting a vote. They don't think about that. They want what they want, and sometimes they don't care. And whoever operates the business, whoever owns the business, they're fine with that. You want to give up your power? No problem. What prompted me to talk about this had to do with someone who's close to me that I don't know, they kind of didn't understand a principle that I was trying to get across to them. This was around the time of the elections, of the 2024 elections. And I was explaining that whoever gets into office, I'm going to make whatever necessary shifts for my finances. Doesn't matter who gets voted in. Now, as far as social issues, well, that's a different argument. But as an investor, I just need to know who's going to be in what position of power to understand how they're going to impact certain sectors of the economy. Once I have an idea as to what sectors of the economy, I can make whatever adjustment necessary in my portfolio so that I can reduce my risks and enhance my ability to profit. That's it. That's all I need to know. He took it one step further. So he figured, well, Tina, what a pleasure to have you here. You can come up if you want, or you control me. Do whatever you want, Tina. You know you got full access. Now he was considering becoming a customer to a company and its CEO that has demonstrated over and over again that he's no friend to our community, no friend at all. Now, if he wanted to invest in the company, that's different. It's different because now he gets a piece, a financial piece. Hey, Daniel Berry, happy Tuesday. He gets yeah, go next. That's right. He gets as an investor, you get a chunk of whatever that power that's shifting over to the company. He gets a chunk of that. He's not empowering the company by being an investor. He's extracting power in some way, shape, or form. Not 100%, but he's not on the side of uh, of providing that company with power by purchasing their goods. And he was thinking that highly distracted right now. Anyway, it's not the same. When you're an investor of a company, you're enjoying the fruits of that company. When you're a customer, you're empowering that company. And if it's a company where the board members, the CEO, the owner, whoever it is, if they express a dislike of you and your community, then it's on you how you want to vote. And you're going to vote with your money, with your power. So, do you want to enhance their power? Do you want to enhance the power of the very people that don't respect you? All they care about is the fact that they can convince you to give up your power. And that happens all the time. When people complain about their circumstances, it's important that they stop and consider whether or not they're contributing to their circumstances or not. Are they contributing? Are they purchasing goods that are putting them in a financial disadvantage? Are they careless with their money? Brandon. So are they careless with their money? Are they are they classifying a want as a need and spending as a result of that? I opened up, Tina, by saying, I hope you guys can see the link up top. You can come in whenever you want. I was referring. Okay, so as an investor, long term, short term, you are purchasing a piece of a company. So you are you are a recipient of the benefits of that company. I'm not talking about retirement benefits or anything like that. The growth of the company, the profit that it makes, which contributes to the growth. Okay, okay, Tina. So, as an investor, you become part of what eventually takes from the company, which is why I was making the distinction between a customer and an investor. Now, as far as IPOs are concerned, that's an initial public offering. That's when a company decides to go from being private to being public. And when you're public, but everyone has the ability to purchase shares or purchase portions of your company. When you're private, it's up to the owner whether or not they want to negotiate um, some terms so that if people wanted to offer money to have some ownership of the company or some say about how the company should be operated, that would be something that's negotiated with the owner of the company, but there's no public access. There's no open door. You see a company, they're private. You would have, hey, Queen, I'm glad you're here. When a company's private, it's not like somebody can, no, 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 no. They're doing some repair work on the truck, so the company put me up in a hotel. Isn't that nice? And by the way, Queen, can you come up? Is it? Are you available to come up on the live? The link is up top or somewhere. I don't know where it is. But when you're publicly traded, when your company goes public, it's just a question of people looking up your ticker symbol and purchasing portions of your company. It's operated by a board. You got the head of the board, which is the CEO, and then you have other positions on the board that help to run the company. And you, as a shareholder, get to vote who stays as a CEO, who stays as a COO, who stays at whatever position they are on the board. You get to vote as a shareholder. If you're not happy with the direction that a company is going and you think somebody could do a better job, you can vote the current person out and vote somebody else in. That's the power of the shareholder. Um, you're not involved in the operations of the corporation. You leave that in the hands of the board. So when I talk about my community, I'm hoping without giving an explanation that people know what I mean. Uh, I'm not trying to exclude people. And not only that, when you use the term community, you could be a part of different communities. It all depends. But when I talk about my community, I'm talking about, for the most part, uh, working class, poor, melanated people that were raised under circumstances where they could not take full advantage of what our society offers just because you're melanated. And in some cases, because you're melanated and poor. Because honestly, being poor as a community, it doesn't matter whether you're melanated or not when it comes to poverty. But as you know, skin tone is used as a tool to divide. So when that happens, when skin tone is used to divide, hey, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Queen.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I will turn my camera on, but I'm sitting in the dark.
Oh, okay. So I got a question.
Yes.
I remember the live that you had where um, I first spoke about um, getting involved in stocks and all that good stuff,
Uh-huh.
and we got to connect.
Yes.
Um, how do you feel about participating in the stock market? I mean,
Oh,
because you're doing this beyond retirement account because you have your own.
right.
Um, yeah. So how do you feel about that?
Uh, that's all right. I mean, I don't have any complaints. Really, let me see. I started with $200, and now it's up to 4,000.
How long ago was that?
Let me see.
I know it wasn't a year.
Let's see. I gotta look at. Okay, I think I had this one from the beginning. Mm, Yeah, April 28th, 2025.
Oh, so it has been a year, a little over a year.
Yes. A little over a year.
And in a little over a year, you went from 200 to 4,000.
Yes.
And this is money that's producing more money. Am I right?
Right.
So while your account is producing that money, do you have to drive to a location for it to do that?
No.
Do you have to clock in?
No.
Do you have to move boxes, lift anything?
No.
It's just it's producing that on its own.
Yes.
And as your account grows, which is what happens usually, um, especially when you have dividend stocks, dividend yielding stocks, you wind up producing more money as your account grows.
Yes.
Oh, here comes Brandon. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, how's it going?
We're on with the Queen.
Hello, Queen.
How
It's
you
good.
doing, Brandon?
I'm doing good.
So, Queen, you're a two percenter, and I'm gonna explain what a two percenter is.
Okay.
Uh, so, as a broker, when I was or just before I became a broker, um, we were we were we it was explained to us that as brokers we were pretty much salespeople, and we would be experiencing a rejection rate of 98%. And if you couldn't handle a rejection rate that high, then this type of this type of field is not good for you. So you're only gonna have a 2% success rate at getting people into the firm. And that stuck with me ever since that time. And I realized that, well, they also mentioned the fact that that's not a percentage that they created. This is something that is just like one of those realities of life. So, so as I come in on my page to try to encourage people to get involved in the stock market, I'm well aware that my success rate is only going to be 2%. But you are obviously one of the 2%, Queen, and I'm glad you're up here.
Whoop, whoop.
um, so were there and you could be honest, you won't hurt my feelings. Were there doubts initially when
I don't. I wouldn't necessarily say that's because I didn't know what I was doing.
okay.
So I was just like, okay, let's see what happens.
Okay, so you just went, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Because the gentleman that I was arguing or initially arguing with, um, he did warn you though. He did warn you because there's a lot of funny business that goes on in in the what do you call this space, the social media space, and
Mm,
trading and investing,
okay.
but which was a responsible thing that he did. Just to be clear about that, uh, and you took it one step further beyond Lisa J. Lisa, you can come up. I left the link up top. Um, you went one step beyond, and you kind of rushed into this, but you went one step beyond just investing in stocks. You actually um, dipped your toes in the world of options. Is that right?
Yes.
What has been your success rate? I know that
Uh,
you only did like three or whatever,
yeah,
but out of the
I've
three trades, what was your
all
success
three
rate?
been successful.
All three. Okay,
Yep,
good. That's good. That's very good. Um, is it still confusing?
a little bit.
Yeah.
Queen,
Um,
if you don't mind, do you mind just giving a general idea of your situation? You don't have to get specific or anything like that, but I'd just like to know to keep up with the conversation. I'm gonna
I
be
put
muted because it's raining.
$200 in my account a month and split it between right now I think 10 different stocks. So I'm trying to get them up to like 100 each. I think. Let me see. I think I got three of them that's getting close to 100, and then the rest of them, well, it's gonna take a while. But I'm pretty much double what I put in thus far with those $200
Nice. How long ago did you start investing?
about a year ago.
Nice. You've already doubled your money in a year.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm gonna be muting in and out just because it's raining here and thundering, and I don't want to ruin your live. So
no, you're good. We can hear it. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go back to Tina's question about what I'm discussing: long-term investing, IPOs, or investors. Okay. With long-term investing, Tina, it's you got like a 5 year and beyond a 5 year horizon. The thing with long-term investing is you want to set yourself up so that you can whoa so that you can go along with the growth of a company and not have to concern yourself. Now long term, long term is not sexy, it's not exciting. uh you're not going to get an adrenaline rush from it. You're going to purchase something that you can hold on, like I said, for 5 years or better, and you're going to want to enjoy the growth of that company throughout time. An example of that is Coca-Cola. Let me see. When did Coca-Cola uh, I'm going to see when Coca-Cola started and what the price was. What year did Coca-Cola start and what was the price for a share when it started? Let's see what it says.
Coca-Cola was first created in 1886. The provided text does not contain information about the initial share price. For financial advice, consult a professional.
Okay, so in 1990, a share of 1919, the share of a price of Coca-Cola was $40, and it pays a dividend. So if a member of your family bought a Coca-Cola share in 1919 for $40, uh, it's worth what, 70 some odd dollars today. So there was an increase in the value of the stock. Not That's not much of an increase, but the dividends that they would have been receiving throughout the years would have made a huge difference, and that would have been the benefit of a long-term investment. Now, also take into consideration that I don't know if you were able to hear what year Coca-Cola was first created, which was May 8th, 1886, for those of you who weren't able to hear it. May 18 of 1886. Now, there was a tremendous depression close to that time and a stock market crash around that time. There was another stock market crash in the early 1900s. There was also the Great Depression, the crash of 1929, World War One, World War Two, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, all the wars that have existed from the time that Coca-Cola was created up until today, all the global depression, all the disasters. Coca-Cola is still here, and people who own shares of Coca-Cola are reaping the benefits of being shareholders of Coca-Cola over a long term. So that's the objective of being a long-term investor.
Mr. Burns, I've
Yes.
got. I pulled up Coca-Cola when you mentioned it, and I've got as May 30th, 1986. It was $2.42, and currently it's at $80.
Yeah.
So
So there must have been some stock splits.
okay, yeah,
So when the stock splits,
yeah,
it's more accessible to the public because it reduces the price of an individual share. It doesn't diminish the value of your portfolio.
no, because you get twice as many of stocks in that.
Exactly. If
I
it's a
worked for I
2 to 1
worked for a
split,
company that gave stock options, which was nice.
it's
You know,
2 to 1 split. Now, stock options, that's interesting that you mentioned that. There was a company I worked for that offered stock instead of cash bonuses.
hmm
If you get a cash bonus, that's gonna be. Lisa's trying to get in. I don't know what's going on. They'll need to connect their mic cam before you can add them. It says here, Lisa, that you have to connect your mic/cam before you can be added to the stream. I don't know what that's about. Try again, Lisa. Try again. If you receive a cash bonus, that's a taxable event. If you
yeah,
receive a stock bonus, that's not a cashable event, but you do have a value that you can exchange at the time you want, at whatever time you want.
hmm
Usually, it's reserved for when you're leaving the company or when you're retiring.
yeah.
Then you can convert the shares into, here we go, into cash. Hey, Lisa. Hey.
Hello,
Hello, can you
Lisa.
guys hear me?
Loud
Yes,
and
loud and
clear.
clear.
Okay. I'm driving. Let me know if it's too distracting, but I just
Not at
want to
all.
pop up.
Thank you for popping up. Yes. Lisa, you admitted that you have individual stocks. Ooh.
That's no admission. I have all the Mag 7. I have Netflix. I'm not opposed to individual stocks.
No, I know you're not.
Oh, okay.
But I know
People love my ETF videos, but I can't
they
talk
love it.
about FXAIX every day of the week.
Yeah. 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 And I'm not against funds. I'm not against it. Um, I'm just from the old school, and I could build my own fund, but no. And okay, so the one thing I do criticize or critique I have about funds is that you're getting a basket full of stuff, and a lot of that stuff is not performing. Some of these ETF, a lot of these ETFs are performing well because of the Mag 7. It's pulling everybody up with it.
Yeah. So I mean, I disagree. You just have to find the fund that is heavily weighted in the good stuff, and
Ooh.
and most of them are going to do that. No.
Okay. Well, I haven't been a follower of the ETF world. Um, when I got into the market, there might have been like in 4 or 5 ETFs. That's it.
Okay. Okay.
So now I guess
There's
from
thousands.
oh, okay, yeah. See, I haven't been following that,
Mhm.
so I don't know. I know
But
I
yeah,
would imagine. Uh huh.
but I will agree with you that if you get a fund that, especially if it is by market cap or by momentum, yeah, it's going to be heavily weighted into a lot of familiar names. But I
Mm-hmm.
think for people that are inexperienced, and wouldn't know how to put together. I think I heard someone on your panel saying that, they're putting $10 each into 10 different things, or it's a way of simplifying that for them so that they don't have to say, oh, how much am I going to put into Apple? How much am I going to put into Google? How much am I going to put into Nvidia? It's built in for them. And as long as it's a low cost fund, I think they can work really great for most.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I have to agree with that. And one of the reasons why I have acorns in the description is for that reasons because um, there's so much information. You can be overloaded with information as you look into companies and the stocks that they offer. It could be overwhelming. And like you said, somebody who's just coming into the world of investing in the stock market, it could just be too much. And Acorns is the type of uh, investing platform that simplifies everything. The ETFs that you mentioned, they're already in Acorns, and it's like they automatically select some for you. So you're not going to miss out on the growth of the Mag Sevens, for example,
Mhm.
without even knowing that you're investing in the Mag Seven.
When you say ETF, what does that stand for exactly?
Exchange Traded Fund. Before exchange traded funds came into the picture, you had mutual funds, right? So um, mutual funds uh, weren't things that you could buy in the stock market like a share, like a stock. But eventually, these funds came about that were a packaged good, so to speak. That the package could be sold as a share.
Kind of like how a 401k works.
Okay, so the 401k, um, the 401k can offer you these things. They can offer you mutual funds. They can offer you exchange traded funds or stocks or bonds. I just I just found out because the 401s that I've had in the past, I can select to be my own, so that I can choose my own uh, direction as to where I want my money to be placed. So I was self-directed, and I come to find out that there are a lot of brokerages that offer 401k that don't allow you to be your own. Uh, uh,
Yes, my
Well,
mine offers like 5 different levels on how risky you want to do your investments, you know, and
you're
that's about it.
mhm. What were you about to say?
once I've been laid off multiple times, so once I'm no longer employed with that company, then I can take that 401k and roll it over, for example, into a traditional Roth IRA, and then I'll have full access to
Mhm.
reinvest that money into what I want, but I'm limited while I'm with the company under the offerings of that particular 401k plan. So that's something that I think I love bringing to people's attention is that um, you need to have a handle of where your 401k gets left off with once you're no longer with that employer. If you are like me and for whatever reason have multiple jobs like most of us do nowadays, a lot of us are not with one company for 25, 35 years.
That's
That's
a
right.
great that's a great point, Lisa. And as a matter of fact, my wife has got three different. She's a retail manager, and she's taken her 401k from three different companies, which she still has those individual 401ks. Um, so I don't know what the best idea is for her to, consolidate them. I guess you could say. You know.
So in my experience, I the first company that I worked for when I was laid off from there, my retirement account was left off at Empowerment, and then I worked for two more companies after that one, and back to back companies actually, and those two both used Fidelity. So that gave me an experience at Fidelity, which I found very favorable. So I wound up taking the one that I was at Empowerment and rolling it over, creating a new account at Fidelity for them to the
Okay.
Empowerment account to be transferred into. And so that allowed me to get myself all under one house with all of
Okay.
my retirement accounts. So I brought all of mine over to Fidelity.
And that made it
And
a lot more
so
simpler.
yes, and
Okay.
also it wasn't just for simplicity because if I was having a good experience with empowerment, I definitely had no intention of moving it.
Yeah.
But because I saw the offerings and I got a few years of experience with Fidelity, I
Yeah.
felt like the offerings there, it was going to be a better fit for me. So I closed my account and bring it over there. So, I mean, in the future, I might wind up at a company that I have to be at another broker, but I have what I have so far. I was able to bring it all over to Fidelity, and now, I have it all in. I didn't combine the accounts. I have multiple accounts, but I'm on top of what I'm invested into and what the performance is.
Okay. So she may have three different companies that are three different 401ks, but if they're in the same company, then she can consolidate them.
If she
Well,
wants to
if she
consolidate,
if she
she'll.
transfers if she transfers a 401 or 401k from one company to the current company that she's in, it's just going to get transferred into that new account.
Hmm.
She could leave it where it's at. It'll perform. There won't be any more deposits into that account
Exactly.
because it's a retirement account attached to the company.
Yeah.
What I remember, things could have changed. It's been, over a
Yeah.
decade
Yeah.
since I was a broker, but
Well, she just
um,
told me. She just told me the other day. She's like, I got still. She worked for Toys R Us, which is a defunct company now.
right
But she worked for Target. She's a retail manager. She worked in several different. She goes where they're paying.
now, considering what Lisa did when she transferred her account from one company into the new company, she was aware that the brokerage firm where she is now gave her the same liberties as the previous one, or even more liberties
Yeah,
as
she
the
liked that
previous
one
one.
better. I got that.
So it benefit Lisa for her to transfer the money in that account into the account that she's in now.
However, it
Like I
may not
said,
be the same situation for my wife.
well,
But
uh, Lisa's experience in the market
yeah,
is what's dictating whether she wants to make a move like that or not. The average person has no clue. The average
exactly.
person just has money taken out of their check into their retirement account, and the brokerage takes care of everything else.
100%.
However, Lisa Lisa's hands on,
Yeah.
and she knows what she's doing. Therefore, she has the time in the market to be able to compare the performance that she can get uh, through her own activity as opposed to what the
Letting someone
brokerage
else steer the wheel, so to speak.
what the professionals at the brokerage
Yeah.
will perform. Typically, a firm managed by their professionals will yield anywhere between 3 to 6%,
Mhm.
and
I understand.
Lisa blows them out the frame. So of course,
Good for
yeah,
you, Lisa.
Okay. This don't be discouraged though. I want you to don't think it's overwhelming like, you and your wife can do this. Have an understanding of what the performance is of a main indice, the S&P 500, for
Hmm.
example.
Hmm.
And I want your account to be performing in line with that.
Hmm.
Set a bar for yourself. And that's an example that I'm giving you. And
Yeah.
then get your account on track because just like what Mr. Burns just shared, no, no, no. I don't want you to be getting 3%. I don't want you to be in bonds
Yeah. Well,
getting
I've got
less than what
yeah.
you're getting
I,
in your high yield savings account.
well, I'll give you an example. I picked, like I said, you got 1 in 5 with the risk. I started late. I was like 26, and my uncle was a accountant, and he says you're starting late. Pump in as much money as you can afford into your 401k, and that's what I started doing. And I picked the riskiest option during COVID when everybody was losing money on their 401k. I was actually making money. So I just kind of kept my mouth shut around everybody at work that was like, oh God. I was like, because I had foreign investments. I don't know I don't know how they do it, but I just had the riskiest thing. It worked out for me, you know?
right. Every time you open up an account, the brokerage will give you a risk assessment.
Hmm.
It's a series of 7 to 10 questions to
Hmm.
make to figure out where you lie
Yeah.
in your level of risk. And once they determine that,
Yeah.
that's when they go to work and they start allocating your money into it could be individual stocks, although I doubt that they do that now, or they could just put it into whatever fund that will fit your personal risk profile.
Well, I used to have a list every quarter. I'd get a list of what I had, whether it went up, went down, how they adjust it. I got auto adjust so that they can adjust it on their own. Otherwise, I would have.
And that's what they'll do. They'll
Yeah.
have to, depending on where they allocate your money, they're going to have to remove or
Yeah.
replace certain companies due to their
Exactly.
performance at
But
the
some of them
time.
were individual stocks, and then some of them were like a group of stocks. You know.
Right, right.
So I
And
mean, that's how I.
and they have to match your risk level. Therefore,
Mhm.
whatever they're allocating the money into has to balance out to whatever risk
Exactly.
level you're at.
And
I
whatever the amount was that my employer matched is the amount that I was doing. Well, actually, I kind of took it in and I figured it out how much my take home money would be to keep me at another tax at the lower tax bracket. So my take home money was going to be the same whether I invested that money or not.
got it.
You understand what I'm saying? So
So
that's what
here's
I
something.
did with myself personally.
Yeah, here's something I used to recommend to family and friends when it came to the 401, if they had one. You should take a trip um, to your accountant and
Mhm.
let them know that you want to max out your 401. And when it comes time to do your taxes, you don't want to owe the federal government any money, but to you don't want to get a check at the end of the year either. So you
Well,
want to be
my
clear.
situation where I've got I got sometimes no employment. I mean, currently I do, but sometimes no employment during the summer, and that was our safety net. Was that techs?
That's understood.
You know, we
For the
just
average person, though,
yeah,
for the average person that doesn't have your circumstance,
yeah,
when you elect not to receive a check from the government when you do your taxes,
mhm,
what you're doing is you're keeping more of your money instead of lending it to the government interest free, because that's
yeah,
what everybody's doing. People
yeah,
get
yeah.
excited when they do their taxes. They get a $5,000 or $6,000 check.
Hmm.
They think that's the greatest thing in the world. Well,
Yeah,
if you sit down and think about it, you just loaned the government $5,000 to $6,000.
and you could have
It's
doubled
just
that if in
interest.
Queens
Yeah,
thing. If you would have thrown that in the you know, you could have doubled that.
exactly, exactly, because you're lending that money interest free
Yeah,
while the government is investing your money, getting a return on that money. You don't get any of the return. Your money, and you get no return from someone else investing your money. So that's something to consider. Um, like you said, you use the example of Queen,
yeah,
where she doubled her money. Well, imagine instead of loaning the federal government $5,000 or $6,000, you taking that money and investing it for yourself.
exactly.
Hey,
Hook it
Homestead,
up. Hook it up.
look it up is here. So that was my advice to my family and friends, that they should go visit an accountant and figure out how many dependents um, to put on their W-4, so
Yeah,
that you're going to max out your 401,
yeah,
and your take home pay
it's exactly the same.
will be close to the same. But
Again, I figured it out, but I was allowed to adjust mine on a week to week basis. They changed it now where I can only do it every quarter. But at the time when I started 20 years ago, I was walking in and I said, okay, let me put $150 in a week. Let me put all right, let's bump it up to 200 a week. And I was just testing it to see how much I could take home, you know?
yeah,
And I'm glad
yeah,
I did.
you
They
have to
don't give that
adjust.
option. They don't give that option anymore. You change it during the quarter, but it was like, but
Yeah,
like you said, if you have a professional with you, an accountant, they can say, okay, if you put this much amount in and this is your take home pay, because my take home was the same, whether I was investing or not.
what
That's
you
the
have to
bottom line that people don't understand is my take home pay, my paycheck at the end of the day was the exact same because that income wasn't taxable.
right,
And
and
I was
and the
taking the
key,
same amount of money home.
yeah, and the key is, when you increase the amount that you put into your retirement account, you have to adjust your dependents.
Mm-hmm.
You have to adjust your dependents so that um, there's
I
either
always put,
more or less
well,
taxed
in
out of
my
your paycheck.
situation, I claim zero dependents throughout the
Okay,
year.
so this is what happens when you claim zero. When you claim
Mhm.
zero, you are lending the federal government money that
Yeah.
they're supposed to return
Yes.
back to you,
Mhm.
but you're lending it to them interest free.
I understand that.
Yeah. So
I didn't have the time. I didn't have this thing,
no,
and
that's fine. That's
I
fine.
needed the
That's
check for
fine.
this summer. You know.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It's not to, this is not.
However, however,
Mhm.
now since meeting you and talking with you about it, let's. I'm looking into different options on getting my little summer
Yeah.
cushion. What I call it, my summer cushion. You know.
Now, in my opinion, the ultimate is full control of what you can do with your money. That's the ultimate, right? Now, when you open up a brokerage account, you'll have an individual account. You'll have several other types of accounts that you can open up. But with an individual account, you have complete liberty as to what you want to do with your money. Um, it could be a full service brokerage like Schwab, or it could be a fairly um, decent size brokerage where like E-Trade E-Trade I think is full service brokerage, but there are brokerages that allow you to access IRA accounts, individual accounts, options trading. So there are plenty of brokerages that like Mumu and Webull, they will allow you to access different strategies to allocate your money and deploy whatever you need. And my goal is to, with family and friends, my goal is to direct them toward having more freedom to decide what they want to
Gotcha.
do with their money. A
Gotcha.
retirement account has limitations, and
Very
depending
much,
on the
very
brokerage
much.
firm, and depending on the brokerage firm, you may have a lot more limitations than you care to have.
Well, I sent you that message the other night about you said that they offer a loan. My company does not offer that loan. I've looked into it, and when I brought
Well,
it up to my HR
it shouldn't
about
be the company; it should be the brokerage. But it's the company that chooses what brokerage to use.
yeah.
Now, I
However, I
understand.
didn't have that option when we were talking the other night. I was
Right.
like, I looked into that. That's one of the first things I did because you're borrowing from that. I think there was something. I had a plumbing issue at the house. It was going to cost me 10 grand. You know, I didn't
Mhm.
have that cash on me, and I was like, okay, can I take a loan on my 401k rather than take the money out and take the tax hit? You know, and it
Which
wasn't.
is
It
which is
wasn't an option.
which is another thing to consider when your 401k is with a specific brokerage under a specific company,
Yeah,
because the company may choose to ask the broker to apply limitations
yeah,
on the retirement account, um, out of fear
yeah. Hook it up. It was a big hit. It was a big hit.
out of fear that people might mismanage their account with the decisions that they make.
Yeah.
Um, which is kind of crazy because this administration is trying to allow access to strategies, um, and vehicles, financial vehicles that could be detrimental. Private equity firms, they're allowing people to um, invest with private equity firms that would be included in the 401k. Now, understand, when you're a publicly traded company, you have to provide the public, especially the shareholders, with tons of information, tons of financial information. Yet, private equity firms don't have to provide anyone with any information, which is kind of crazy because they can be irresponsible with with how they're managing the money. They can be completely irresponsible. They could be throwing in tons of money into penny stocks, and penny stocks are beyond high risk. Okay, but you wouldn't know it.
That's how. You remember I told you that I went on Robinhood when I was, 10 years ago, or not 10 years ago, whenever they first opened up. I don't know how many years they've been around, but it was like the first year that they'd opened up and started advertising. And I threw $300 into Robinhood, and I was throwing it around, and I was doing penny stocks and stuff like that. And nah, that I understand the big risk with that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
penny stocks. Lisa, did you want to say something?
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I making noise with my driving?
No. I saw
Yeah,
I
yeah,
saw that you
no.
put the mic back on.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to just talk a little bit about what you were saying about the, the private equity, the crypto, and also with the removal of the pattern day trading limitations. These are things that that could be detrimental to people. And so I hope that people that could have been conservative are not getting too carried away with this flexibility. For me, um, for someone with knowledge, it's a great thing, but for those who don't, it really can be a disaster. And I hope that they get the education that they need, so that they can make responsible decisions. And what you were saying about penny stocks, I always like to highlight to people that you don't have to worry about the share size, the share price. um, you can buy $5 worth of Google or Amazon, or a quality fund, like I won't name one, but a quality ETF, like what we were touching on earlier. You don't have to buy something because the whole share price is $5.
Yes. Now, what Lisa's referring to is purchasing fractional shares, which is an amazing thing. Yes, um, penny stocks are attractive because of their share price. However, you're taking a huge risk with penny stocks because these are businesses that are not capitalized to the point where they can survive a downturn in the economy or uh, a market correction. There's a good chance that they get wiped out. So instead of focusing on the stock price, like what Lisa's saying, there are some stocks out there that are hundreds of dollars for one share, but um, the platform that you're using, the brokerage that you're using, may allow you to purchase a portion of that one share, so that you're still getting involved with something of high quality without having to risk whatever amount of money that you put in, or your risk is extremely low in comparison to a penny stock that seems so attractive.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah,
like that's what the other person on your panel was talking about earlier with $200
yeah,
investing. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
but yeah.
Well, it was a Robin Hood, so it was like my name's Brandon, by the way, Lisa. Nice to meet you.
Elevated.
Elevated Zen. Hello, Elevated. What I did was I was just investing in, but it was kind of like I don't know, I, you know, Robin Hood, where you can just
Yeah,
pick and
no, I
choose
wasn't
every.
referring to you. I was referring to the other lady earlier
Oh,
on. She
Queen,
was
Queen.
saying that she was
Queen.
investing $200.
Oh
Okay, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
over half of my stocks are fractional shares.
Okay.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
But you just keep
Yeah.
going. I mean, I've really built up positions going a few dollars at a time.
Mhm.
Right.
Gonna
And it's
build up,
and
but
that's
you just
important.
got to keep on going and be consistent with it. So,
Exactly.
it's no joke to me, to invest $10, $100. I'm proud of anyone who's making the effort and making good choices as far as what they're investing into.
Absolutely. And like I keep mentioning here on the platform, it's all about discipline and consistency. That's it. You don't need a degree in finance. You just need to be consistent and you need to be disciplined. And it's best if you can get yourself involved with people who either have knowledge and are willing to share it with you, uh, and stay away from the adrenaline junkies. The adrenaline junkies are the ones that want to day trade. They want to trade options irresponsibly. because you can, with the world of options, you can adjust your risk um, depending on what kind of filters you use to search for the stocks that you want to trade options in. And honestly, the professionals that trade options usually stick to one or two companies, and they have like 2 or 3 strategies. That's it. Even though in the world of options, there's so many strategies that you can use. You could use 1-legged, 2-legged, 3-legged, 4-legged strategies. You can roll a position, the expiration date, how far out are you buying, are you selling, that should determine how far of an expiration you want to get into. Volatility is a consideration. Liquidity is a huge consideration. So a lot of moving parts, but if you have a set of rules that fit your how you decide to trade, then the important thing is to stick to those rules. Sometimes people get a little excited. They want to use strategies that put them in a much higher risk. For example, selling an out of the money, like a 1 standard deviation away, out of the money put. Yeah, you can do damage to yourself, to your portfolio. Yes, Brandon.
Oh, just listening.
Oh.
No more rain. I unmuted myself.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm going to drop down, but it was nice talking to you guys. I have some more work to do.
All right.
But
Lisa,
if
you know
I
you're
s-
always welcome, right?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I
You
said
know
it was
you're
nice
always,
meeting you, Lisa.
You too, Brandon.
you're always welcome here, right, Lisa?
I do now, Mr. Burns. Okay, guys.
Yeah, because and you know what? It's nice that you kind of intervene to make sure that whatever message I'm conveying doesn't fall under the realm of discouragement or negativity. And I'm happy that you chime in and make sure that whoever's listening is not discouraged.
Well, I like that there's all different people up here on this panel, different
Mm-hmm.
age, different gender, different race, because this is for all of us. And I just like to be a face, and, maybe I will resonate with someone differently than what you guys were sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want everyone to be supported and empowered and know that we can do this. It is for us.
Absolutely.
It is not for people that were born with wealth. I was not born into wealth, but I am going to build as much as I can, gain as much knowledge. And I like being in conversations like this and in communities that have these type of conversations. Yes, I like
Yes.
lots of other things, but I don't need all the drama all the time. I don't need to talk about what's going on and whatever hot
Hollywood.
topics. Yeah, this is important too. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right. Well, I'll
All
talk to you
right.
again soon.
Well,
All right.
thank
Here's a
you
big
for
hug, Lisa. All
Bye.
right. You feel that? All right. I just gave you a
thank
hug.
you, Lisa. Thank you for your input, Lisa. Appreciate it.
Okay, guys.
All right. There it is. See that? And I'm glad Queen is here, because Queen stepped into this new realm.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's a new realm for me as well.
and everybody can learn as they go. Everybody can learn as they. That's the beauty of this thing. You can learn as you go.
Yeah.
Um, you have somebody like me who outside of YouTube, yeah, I help, I help. And there are things that I provide outside of YouTube that are more detailed.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can learn as you go and profit as you go.
Mm-hmm.
I put out the five fingers to the helping hand, 5 different companies that anybody can put in their portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be a foundation, a springboard. And from there, you can search, you can start asking questions. Um, you find the stock, you're curious about it, you see it. Whoa, look at this dividend.
Well, I'm curious about one we were talking about 8 months ago.
Refresh my memory.
Tesla.
Oh, Tesla. Okay. That's an interesting one. So
That is an
in
interesting one.
my opinion, I've never invested in Tesla.
Oh, me neither. But it's
I have
been
made money. I have made money off of Tesla without purchasing any shares.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's the beauty of options. You don't have to own the shares. You don't have to buy the shares. And you can make money off the share price, whether it moves up, whether it moves down, or whether it stays the same. You can still make a profit with options. However, I'm not saying that so people could just start getting involved in options and going crazy. You got to be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's like it's $425.
yeah, I think Tesla is grossly overvalued.
It's insane with the
Grossly
with the
overvalued.
volatility of that. Just the whole thing has just been. I've been kind of like obsessed, checking it every once in a while, going, "Oh, how are they doing? How can somebody announce losses and their stock prices go up?" Baffled my mind. I was like,
Absolutely.
"What?"
Absolutely. That happens a lot with a variety of stocks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You hear all this great news that they're producing all this great stuff, that they're making all this great profit, and all of a sudden it tumbles.
When the numbers come in, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
You just talk your way right out of it.
Microsoft put out some great numbers this last earnings, which was like a week ago, and the stock went down. Stock went down after putting out great numbers, exceptional numbers, and the stock went down because of news regarding another company that they had a financial tie with, a financial connection with.
Well,
Tesla shot up.
When I was on that Robinhood, I invested in grocery stores because I was like, all right, groceries are going to go up. And I invested into Kroger, which I think is a store that was in, I think it's in the Carolinas. I think that's where they're based. I'm not sure. We don't have any Krogers here in Florida.
Right.
And then they got bought by or whatever. What's that?
They got bought out?
No. I'm just using that as a example. I'm not sure exactly the name of the company because this was
wait a minute.
This was almost 10 years ago. I don't know exactly what company. 10 years ago, I bought stock in a grocery company, and then it got bought out by Whole Foods.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember exactly what the company was, but I invested. I think it was. No, I invested into Kroger. That's what I did. but then Amazon bought Whole Foods, and every other grocery went down, and Whole Foods went up, and I was like, oh fuck this, I lost.
Well, see, those are one of the dangers of being a day trader and of being an options trader, is that news can come out of nowhere.
Yeah. Screw it all up. Yeah.
However, when you're a long-term investor, none of that stuff really matters unless the financial conditions of that company have deteriorated to the point where there's a potential
sellout or whatever.
Bankruptcy.
You know.
Yeah. You want to know who's in that position? Which shocked me. And this particular company, okay, so for those who don't know, for you to be included in the list of an index like the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the Russell 2000, for the NASDAQ, for you to be listed, each one of them have a criteria in order for you to be listed in these places. So for you to be listed in the Dow Jones, for example, you have to have your company has to be capitalized, like, to, you have to have a high capitalization.
Yeah.
Very high. And the accounting that you use, there's some things that are required of that company in order to be allowed into. Well, there was a Dow Jones company that might get kicked out of the Dow Jones.
What's it? Well, what criteria do they have? Offhand, anything?
I don't remember the specifics, but I'm gonna look it up.
Interesting. Okay, I'm interested.
Okay.
If I start a little farm-based business,
what is the criteria for being listed in the S&P 500?
The more you know.
Have a market value of at least $22.7 billion, be liquid, and show positive earnings. The S&P Dow Jones Indices Committee makes the final decision. For financial advice, consult a professional.
Let's see what the criteria.
Billion? What was the price? Billion?
Yeah, one. I think. Let me see. 22.7 billion.
I'm a little bit away from that. If I start a tree farm,
right. So if you want to be listed in the S&P 500, and this is as of 2025. Remember, things can change in the financial world.
Yeah.
As of mid-2025, a company must be U.S. based, have a market capitalization of at least 22.7 billion, possess high liquidity, which means that
liquidation,
and show positive earnings over recent quarters. So you have to perform positively, for several quarters.
Well, you got to prove that you're making money.
So let me see what the criteria is for the Dow Jones. What is the criteria for being listed in the Dow Jones?
The Dow Jones selection isn't based on strength. Companies considered must be major U.S. leaders, have good reputations, show sustained growth, and attract investors. They are usually utility or transportation companies in the S&P 500. For financial advice, consult a professional.
Did you guys hear that? Were you able to hear that?
Didn't give us specific.
No, it's not specific. Not like not the S&P.
Yeah.
Not the requirement for the as far as their value is. But companies must be a massive U.S. leader with excellent reputation.
I think Queen's about to go.
Did she say that?
Yeah, and private.
Oh. Oh, okay. All right, Queen. Thank you for coming in. Big hug. There you go. Did you
Thank
feel
you,
that?
Queen. Nice meeting you. Thank you for your information.
Thanks.
That was a
Thank you
big
for
hug.
I'll
discussing
be
it.
listening till I fall asleep. But yeah.
Yeah. Get some rest. Get
It was
some
a
Yeah.
rest.
pleasure. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Nice to meet you too, Brandon.
Thank you. Thank you again, Queen.
No worries.
Whenever you get a chance, please.
So what area are you in, Mr. Burns?
I'm still in Niagara Falls.
Oh, Niagara Falls. I was there. I went to the Canadian side.
Yeah. I was able to do that back in the day too.
When you only needed a license to get over.
Exactly. Now they want a passport.
Yeah, they changed it. I had a funeral that was up in Maine, and the quickest way to go, I was in northern Michigan at the time, and the quickest way to go was through the interstate in Canada. It was like a direct straight route. Otherwise, I had to go under the Great Lakes, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about.
Oh
But
yeah.
I didn't have a passport, and they didn't take the licenses anymore, so we had to take the long route. You
Yeah.
know,
When did they stop doing that?
after 9/11.
Oh man.
After 9/11, they started requiring passports. I believe. I
Tremendous
might be
inconvenience.
mistaken, but this was 20 years ago. So, well, close to 20 years ago. But 9/11 happened before that. But they just beefed it up. I've never seen more Coast Guard in my life. I live in Florida. Okay. I see Coast Guard boats all the time. I've never seen more of a concentration of Coast Guard boats than I have in Lake Michigan. It's crazy.
I don't know what that's for because you don't have that type of crime coming down from Canada or going up into Canada, or maybe going into
Exactly.
Canada, but not coming down from Canada.
Yeah, but the U.S. Coast Guard they don't care when you're at the border. All you got to do is show your license, and you can get into Canada. Getting back in is the question. I believe I told you the story of my friend that was Mexican descent that went. We were in northern Michigan, right at the border, and he went over. He wanted to go spend the night and go check out Canada, and he went over. No problem getting into Canada, you know. But then when he came back, all of a sudden, pass. Oh, brown guy, pull over, please. We're gonna search you. And he was a big guy. And this is kind of funny anecdote, but I don't know if you remember the story or not. But big guys in the kitchen, you've got to use baby powder. So we got
Oh,
cornstarch because we sweat a
cornstarch
lot.
between the cheeks. Yep.
Yeah. So he had a Ziploc bag full of cornstarch on his front seat, or on his dashboard or whatever, you know what I mean? And when he came over to the U.S. side, they pulled him over and they were like,
We got one.
yeah, oh, what's that bag? He goes, this cornstarch. They literally put him in the back and strip search him and said, what's all this white powder? And I'm not joking with you. He goes, because he was kind of pissed off he was being detained, you know what I mean, and all this other stuff. He literally took his finger and wiped it off and stuck it in the guy's face and goes, it's cornstarch. You want to taste it? And like, he ended up getting through, but it was like 4 hours they detained him at the border, to get back over. It was pretty messed up, but anyways, I thought that was a funny story. The way he
Yeah,
handled it.
I kind of got it twisted at customs coming back from Dominican Republic. I was
You did?
yeah. I had a statue that I bought, um, and
How long ago was this?
oh, maybe maybe 11 years ago.
Oh, okay. Now it'd probably be worse. Currently.
Yeah, it was around 2005, something like that.
Okay.
And I usually drink when I'm on a flight,
As do most people.
so I was feeling it. You know,
Yeah.
I bought a lot of those little.
The little carry-ons.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was kind of lit, and when I get to customs, and I grabbed the statue, I put it on the desk. I said, "Don't you worry about anything. This guy right here, he's gonna identify me." Oh, what was that for? They brought me in. They started interrogating me.
Did they make you take your clothes off?
In Dominican Republic, they did.
Okay. Oh, when you went over?
Yeah,
Okay.
in Dominican Republic, we got strip search. Me and a couple of other guys that I went down there with. Yeah, we got strip searched.
Continue your story.
That was it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a fool, like a drunken fool. I put that statue on his desk. He didn't find that amusing at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, they don't like to joke around.
No.
Especially after I try to get in and try to get out. When I was in New York a few years ago for the food festival, I lost my license, my driver's license. Getting on a plane. Oh man. I had to go in front of everybody and I'm like, hey, look, I don't have my license. Oh. So they came in. They didn't give me the strip search. I got a little paler complexion than you, though, sir. So they kind of, I'm not as big of a red flag, I guess, over
Right.
there. So,
Right.
but it was a pain in the ass. They ended up letting me through. But I mean, if the shoe was on the other foot, and if it was you that didn't have your license, yeah, cough.
Oh no, they wouldn't ask you to cough. They would just put the latex gloves on and start digging.
That's it.
Yeah, it's
I've
time for
had
a prostate check.
I had an ultrasound with the what is it? When I had to have my guts like checked out, and the doctor's office where I was at, they like had warmed lubricant that they put for the sonogram or whatever, for the pregnant ladies, same exact thing,
Mhm.
I was like, all right, but yeah, I'm sure at those airports they don't even worry about warming it up. They don't even probably use the lube.
They're just slapping some cold jelly on you.
Yeah, if you're lucky, if you're lucky.
Yeah, they put you in the fetal position, slap that cold jelly, you feel that pressure, you look up, and the guy's got both his hands on your shoulder. Like, wait a minute, the hell is that? Yeah.
You turn around, you say, "Hey, can you please remove your ring, sir?" And he
Can
says,
I get
"No,
a
that's
kiss,
not
please?
that's not my ring. That's my watch." They're thorough. They're thorough.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I can't believe it. I'm getting hungry, and I ate yesterday.
Yeah, it happens. What's it going to be your cuisine of choice tonight?
Maybe a hamburger. I don't know. That's a good question. Let me see what's available around here.
Usually, I don't know what hotel you're staying in, but usually they got like they got some good. Well, first off, you're in New York, so there's always something, you know. But
Yeah,
usually those hotels have got decent, depending on what hotel you're in, they've got decent restaurants where you don't have
this
to
one.
leave.
Yeah, this one doesn't have one.
Uh,
Oh, we got a Mexican restaurant close by.
I would talk to the locals. That's what I always do. Is I always chit chat with the guys at the front desk, the guys that are working there, going, "Hey, where's a good place to eat, man?" And they generally swing me in the right direction. You know,
I'm gonna
I
have to do
found a
that.
lot of good like dives, like family restaurants and stuff like that when I'm traveling, just by talking to the guys at the hotel. You know,
I'm gonna have to do that. They got a steakhouse close by. They got a tropical smoothie, batch, Judy's Lounge, Chick-fil-A.
well, if you're in Niagara Falls, see, they've got the tourist restaurants and then they got the real restaurants. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to find the real ones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You ask the guy at the front desk who eats out, where he's gonna eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where you get your best information when you're traveling. In my opinion, and let me phrase that. In my experiences, you know.
They got the Mommy House. Oh, hook it up so don't get the tongue. At the Mexican spot. Yeah, I don't eat tongue tacos.
Mm.
They
One
love
thing that I also learned is if you go to an actual Mexican place and you order the pork skin tacos, you think chicharrones, you know?
right.
They don't do that. It's just the pork belly. It's just a
Oh no.
if you go to those
Yeah, I'm not down with that.
ah I like pork belly. Don't get me wrong. I like nice semi
Well,
cooked pork belly. However,
here's the
I
thing.
when I
We
ordered
make
a taco, I expected chicharrones and it was just the fat.
we make tripe soup, right?
Yeah,
We
okay.
make tripe soup, and I'm good
Yeah.
with that. But
Well then you can deal with anything as far as I'm concerned.
I've eaten gizzards, um, tripe.
We had tongue. We used to have tongue on the carving board when I first started at my work, and then uh, they stopped because that was an older generation thing. Jesus Christ. Max,
That's Max. Max is making
yeah,
all that
that's
noise.
Max. That's Max. He found a box. Can you see him? I don't
Max
know.
is a wild dude.
He loves. He is the best box attacker shredder ever. He's a personal box shredder, you know. Hey, it was good to catch you early, man. This is awesome.
I like it.
No, I do too. I got to talk to stuff. I got a couple notes I took from the whole, you know.
That's cool. The stock market here in the United States, with the type of access that anybody can get through the stock market, is like nowhere else in the world.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. It's like nowhere else in the world. You have so much access here that can help you or it can destroy you. It all depends on
Yeah,
how
yeah,
you approach it.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, like when I was doing the Robin Hood, I was treating it like I was at the casino. You know what I
right,
mean? I was
right.
rolling dice. I was throwing the money here. I was throwing the money there, and it just ended up not I lost everything, but but it was all disposable. But I tried. But that's what happens when you step into something that you don't know anything about. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And it's like,
When you have
okay,
guidance, when you have a mentor, it's a lot better.
I'm I've learned tremendously just through your channel, just your chit chat, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've learned tremendously. Have I been ready to grab that $500 and throw it in and do day trading again?
Hopefully you
Not
won't.
not yet, but I'm getting more confident with it. You know what I mean? You know what I
It's
mean?
when it comes to that, it's the adrenaline that grips people.
Yeah, well, that's what it was with me. It was freaking. It was like rolling the dice at the crap tables. You know?
Which
Ooh,
is the
and
complete
that was those
opposite.
penny stocks. Ooh, this is only this much, but ooh, if
Right.
this makes some money, you know?
Which is the complete opposite of long-term investing.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
boring. You're not going to get any excitement out of that. You can
But
become wealthy, but
I
it's a
was gonna
boring path.
say you end up making money with it, so
It's a boring
it's
path.
And I'm trying to instruct and when I'm talking about like my nephew, who shall be unnamed from now on, by the way. He told me, don't use my name. I said, okay. All right, no problem,
I
buddy.
don't recall you ever using his name, but okay.
Yeah, no, I've used his name quite a bit. Yeah, my nephew. You know.
Such and such.
Yeah, exactly.
What is
Um,
this? Hook It Up is encouraging Max. Why? Because he's a box eater?
he's a. I'll just give you. This is what he does. Yeah, good boy. Good boy. Keep going. I don't know if you could see it if I got the right angle. I got my
Yeah.
laptop, so
Oh,
it's
yeah, I can
kind of
see it. And I'm a
yeah.
little jealous.
That's what he does. Is he'll get a hold of a box and he'll tear it up and he'll leave it like this, and we gotta clean it up. We try to fold them up and put them in the recycling, and then every once in a while he'll get a box. And
I'm kind of jealous. He could just randomly eat box like that.
well, you know what? I don't think you know what
Actually, he's shredding it.
most people like their boxes eaten. At least most people that I met, they enjoy their boxes being eaten. So you would think, you know,
Wow, look at Homestead. They're trying to convince her to take up more hours now that school is out. That's crazy.
Homestead. How many hours are you working a week?
It feels like 120 hours a week. That's what it feels like.
The maintenance guy that lives here on my property has got company, and they're out having some fun.
Right now?
Yeah, so if you hear some boisterous laughing and whatnot, that's what's going on.
Are they the type of neighbors that you can throw a box at them and they'll shred box? Think about that.
I'm not 100% sure, but I don't care whether they like to, because
Shred box
some
around?
people. All right, I don't know if you know, but there's a technique that you can use where you grab a pole and then you light a fire underneath it, and you make the smoke come out of the pole. So you're smoking the pole. You know what I mean?
What?
And I'm not sure if they enjoy,
Smoking pole?
smoking the pole or shredding the boxes. I'm not sure about that, but I don't. That's not my business, and I don't. You know, I don't. I don't really get into that.
You're not even curious enough to just peek?
No. I've got all my curiosity out about that. I lived with two strippers. I pretty much I can honestly say I've seen more than 75% of Americans in real time in that situation. You know what I mean?
Holmes said she seemed offended when you said no. Well, guess what? She's gonna have to just feel offended.
Oh, you're talking about your boss?
I guess it was her boss or her supervisor, something.
Yeah. Oh, 30. You work at 37 hours a week? That's full time. That's considered full time in
That is full
corporate
time.
terms. That's full time in corporate terms.
Yeah.
You know, I mean personally, I work 65, 70. Some during Thanksgiving, holidays, spring break, stuff like that, Easter. But I do that. I get. I'm gonna say in 6 months, I get 80% of my income in 6 months of time. You know, you know what I mean? Doing that.
Yeah. So I work away from home, and I
Do
could be
you?
out, for months at a time. So I don't know if my wife is engaging in box shredding or not.
Does that bother you if she is?
No.
Okay.
It,
Well,
it bothers her that it doesn't bother me.
okay.
It bothers her.
To I hmm.
I got to take care. Listen, the way I explained it, I'm out there on the road by myself. My mind has to be
On the
focused on
money.
providing for the family.
Yeah.
And I can't allow myself to be weakened by the thought.
Yeah.
I got to stay focused.
Yeah.
Like my friend from Eastern Europe told me, you know, you must remain focused.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that the other day.
Yeah. So
Well,
hey,
here's the thing. Number one, my wife's not that way. As far as however, I'm out a long time. This is the thing. In my 20s, I lived as a swinger up until I met my wife. Well, re-met my wife. You understand what I mean?
yeah,
I'm not jealous at all. I used to have relationships with several people. I would help those same people if they were like, "Oh, this guy's hot." If we went to a bar or something like that, I would be like, "Hey, you see my friend over there? She wants to hook up with you." I hook them up. There's no jealousy involved with that.
I'll
You know
tell
what I
you
mean?
what. If somebody were to approach me in a bar and tell me that their lady or their friend or whoever it is wanted to hook up, I'd be scared as hell.
Really?
Yeah, I'd be scared. I would think it's a setup. Like one time when I was a cab driver in New York City, this lady actually came on to me and invited me up to her apartment. I, I I came up with an excuse not to do it. I
Yeah.
was nervous. I was scared. I was thinking that maybe she would invite me upstairs
And then
and
you got the
be into
three
something.
guys up there ready to rob you.
No, something kinky, like tie me to the bed face down, and some dude in a Batman costume would come out the closet and give me a prostate check. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was my fear.
With both hands on the shoulder.
With both hands on the shoulder, with his back gloves on my shoulders. And I'd be wondering where his bat pole was. Well, I wouldn't be wondering. I'd be feeling where his bat pole.
Say it. I think you know.
Yeah, I'd know by that point.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know. It's a different
No,
lifestyle.
that's just me. I'd be scared.
No,
So
no, I
I know.
understand.
I know
No,
there
no,
are
my
people that-
boss Bill was talking about. He went to the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah,
Two
that was a
girls.
classic, man.
2 girls, and he was in the Bronx, you know, and they took him in there, and he just got the weird vibe from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. All the freaks,
They had some
freaks
man
come
stuff
out
going
at
on.
night. The freaks come out at night,
The throwing of rice, toilet paper, water. Yeah,
It was
that's what
all.
they do with the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
It was a whole thing. Oh, I've attended many times, sir.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience for me. I thought for the first time I went to it, it was kind of a funny situation. I was like, there was people sitting behind me, and one of them was a really big dude,
You felt the heat?
big guy. But there were also, I mean, the theater was kind of packed, and all of a sudden somebody just starts licking my ear from sitting
Nice.
behind me.
Nice.
I think it's that all I could picture is because I'm nervous because I'm in this situation that I've never been in before, and I turn around and I think it's a big dude. I'm ready to go.
You see,
know?
that's the thing. That's the thing with hooking up with a tranny, because they're physically as strong as you are. Yeah. So,
Yeah, you're right, 100%.
So even if you say no, they might say yes.
With the song Lola, you remember the song Lola?
Yeah.
I walked out the door. She threw me to the floor. I got down on my knees. Those are exact lyrics from the song Lola, But anyways, I turned around.
Was that David Bowie?
Ready to.
Was that David Bowie with
Great.
Lola?
I was a karate stance,
Yeah.
And no, it was just my friend, my female friend, and I was like, oh, so this is how it is over here. I'm all right with it.
Was that David Bowie that sang Lola?
No, that was the Kinks.
That was the Kinks, right? Okay, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I saw a speech made by a transgender Navy SEAL, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, man, that's the type of dude that if he says yes, it don't matter what you say.
It doesn't matter what you say.
It's going down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, meet me at the trail. It's going down. Meet me in the club. It's going down. Yeah.
Well, I grew up around. I actually talked with DeAndre more about this, like on his channel. Well, when he came to my channel, let me rephrase that. But I grew up, and it was like my best friend was gay when I was like 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I met him. We were both, what do you want to call it? We were the guys sneaking out of school, smoking cigarettes and skipping school and do the, what do you want to call it? The hoodlums.
Rebels.
We were the hoodlums, whatever, and, but then he was like, he told me, he's like, hey, I'm gay. And I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
It's all right with me. I'm not, right? And he
Not a
was
big
like,
deal.
yeah. It's like, I don't care. I said, I don't give a shit. And, but through him, throughout his life, up until he died, I was, like I said, he was my best friend as part of his community and stuff like that. So I was always a part of that community. You know what I mean? And it never bothered me. I'm very comfortable with my sexuality. I'm very comfortable. It doesn't bother me that's why it's so funny when all these people that are like anti-trans and anti this and that, and especially in the government, and then they're found out to have all these secret accounts, stuff like that. I was like,
The closet cases.
Yeah, it just it baffles my mind. I'm like, dude, just live and let live, man. You know, who cares?
Why
As long
you in
as
the
it's
dude,
not, as long
why
as
you
it's
in the
not
dude's
your
why you in the dude's bedroom when he's doing the horizontal mambo? I don't get
exactly.
it.
There was a comedian called Dave Attell. I don't know if you remember that guy.
Who?
Dave Attell.
No, I don't remember. Maybe I do.
He's a bald white guy, and he used to do this TV show called Insomniac Theater, where he would go into different towns, and when he was done with his comedian show, he would go into the town all night until sunrise. And like New York City, he went to the garbage dumps where they're working 24 hours. He went to Texas where they're shooting the the on the side of the road the varmints or whatever they call
Okay.
them, marmots. They're like rats that are like this big, you know.
Yeah, they look like groundhogs.
Yeah, but he used to just explore the city, the nightlife, everything like that, you know. And but he has one saying that, you know, hey, what a man, a woman, and a midget and a donkey do behind closed doors is their own gosh darn business. You would like that guy. He's your sense of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, when I was 10 years old, the babysitter, her son was around my age, maybe a year or two older.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't know what gay was. And he tells me that he thinks God made a mistake. He thinks that because he said he feels like a girl.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand. And then
Yeah.
again, I didn't care.
Yeah.
I really didn't care. I don't understand why people make such a big deal about that.
You and I both, man. You know, it's people judging, but like I said, a lot of those people that are making these judgments and doing this and they're doing this and that are the most. They're the ones that are ending up with the, you know,
Down
having
low.
these hookups and having these things, and they're getting exposed with it, and then they're like, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. They actually did
Massaging meat on the down low, you know what I mean?
well. This is the thing is they said that they hooked up the things to your brain where they can process the thing, and they did a test on people, and they would show them like homosexual activity going on, and most people that were I'm trying to think of how this was 5 years ago. I've heard this study, so my mind might be a little bit fogged about this, and I'm not quoting it exactly, but basically people that were homophobic got aroused mostly when those images were put in front of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
they
I
wanted
think it's more of a self-hate than I think it is a it's getting ready to pour here. It's Florida. You might have to walk in. You can hear the rain coming.
I hear it.
Here comes the rain again. Max is chewing on a new box.
Max is lucky. He gets the shred
Let me
box.
go inside. Let me go inside so that you can hear me.
Yeah. Okay.
It's Florida, so it can rain 1 minute and be done the next. You know. But either way, Solomon, it's good. Always good talking to you, man. Always a pleasure.
I love it. I love it when you come in, man.
I love to come in. I love to.
Yeah, it's a warm feeling.
Yeah, it's real. It's real. It's real.
Well, that's right. Homestead side of the country gets a lower rainfall. But Florida is ridiculous with the rain, let me tell you. It's like what Brandon was saying. 1 minute it's sunny, and 30 minutes later, it's pouring. And then
Yeah.
it stops.
Or
And
you
then
could
when
be
you feel a
standing.
chance,
You could be standing on the sidewalk, and the other side of the street's raining, and you're just perfectly
dry.
fine.
Yeah.
You know. And
And
so said, you got to watch out for those rains because you guys get flooded big time. You know.
yeah. Yeah. They get flooded.
That's scary.
Nebraska gets flooded. Iowa gets flooded.
I didn't know that. I've never been to
Oh yeah.
Nebraska.
They get flooded, man.
I've been to Iowa, but I've never been to up in Nebraska.
Yeah,
Let
they
me
get
phrase that.
flooded.
I passed through Iowa. So
They get flooded. I was just in Lincoln and Omaha. Yeah.
yeah.
Come springtime, late spring, when the snow melts and those rivers get overflowing,
Hmm.
yeah, they get flooded, man. Pretty bad. Pretty
So
bad.
let me ask you a question. When
Mhm.
you had your StreamYard account, how much did that cost you?
Like 400 a year or something like that.
400 a year?
450, 400 something a year, yeah. It you know what? It didn't make sense to continue paying that because I wasn't getting like 8 or 9.
No, yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so it didn't make any sense. So I just got rid of the pay plan, and when you can tell because the
I can't stream live. I can't stream live like I used to be able to do.
what on StreamYard?
On your personal StreamYard.
Oh,
That's when I realized when you came back from your COVID incident, I was like, oh, he's not on. He's not. You're not paying for the StreamYard anymore. I knew instantly because I couldn't. I normally got a button that I can click,
right.
to do the lives, But I was curious as to how much it was costing because.
Well, now they have. I noticed that they have different pay plans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like right now, let me see. It'll probably pop up right now.
They started that.
Chat overlay is not available in free plan. Upgrade now to enable. Let me hit continue to see what they're talking about.
Everything they got like 1,000 different options. One of them you can allow this. One of them,
$45 a month for the core plan.
yeah. See,
A month.
I mean, I'm doing this for fun. I'm not doing this for. If I was monetized, it might be something different. But
Right. If I made a career out of this, then yeah.
exactly. So I don't blame you. You got to excuse me for a moment. I got to use the restroom.
Yeah, go ahead. Can you reach it from there, from where you're sitting?
I wish.
You'd be shredding box if you could. Yeah. No, it's not what I want. Take a quick peek at the market. I'm going to go into Yahoo Finance. Oh, man. Matter of fact, I think I could do it here. Yahoo Finance.
Okay. You just reminded me of something.
What's that?
You there?
Yeah. Can't
All
see
right.
me?
Oh, I can see you. I can hear you loud and clear. So a man walks into a bar and he's got a box and he sets a box up on the bar and he's sitting there and he's drinking for a little bit. And he tells the bartender, listen, I got to use a restroom. Don't open that box, whatever you do. So the bartender,
Whoa.
you there? He said, "Whoa."
I'm right here. Yeah.
Okay. So the bartender, the guy's in the restroom, he's doing his business, whatever, and he's just sitting there and he's looking at that box, and he just gets the curiosity gets the best of him, and he just opens his box, and all of a sudden a little guy about this big just jumps out of the box. He starts kicking bottles over, breaking them, running around, just, I mean, throwing shit at people. I mean, it was just a mess. Jumps back into the box, and guy gets out of the restroom and he looks around. He says, "Ah, oh, you opened the box, didn't you?" The bartender said, "Yeah." "What the hell is that about?" He says, "Oh man." He says, "All right, I got stranded on a deserted island. I found this genie bottle, and I got 3 wishes, and I wish to get home off the island. Got off the island. I wish for $1 million. I get $1 million, and then my 3rd wish was I wish for a 12-inch prick, and that's what they gave me."
I know a joke that's similar to that.
I'm sure that's an old one.
Guy comes into a bar, tells the bartender, "Hey, bartender, let me get a shot of whiskey." And when the bartender looks up, he says, "Oh my God, what the hell?" The guy's head was the size of a quarter. So the bartender said, "What the hell happened to you? How is this possible?" "It's a long story. I don't want to get into it." Says, "Dude, I'm not going to serve you your whiskey until you tell me what happened to you." Did I lose you guys? Am I still there?
No, I'm here. Yeah, you're here. Loud and clear.
So the guy says,
Now you froze. Wow. You froze. Oh no. All right, I lost you. I don't know if it's me. Hope it's not me. Is it me? My microphone says that you're hearing me. Oh my God. All right. So, welcome to Solomon Project. Where it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. That's his motto. I guess, yeah, I think he's going to try to reboot in. I'm going to give him a few minutes and I'm going to log out if that's not the case. If he can't get back in, I don't want to steal his show. But if you guys are looking for, hi, Hook It Up. I see you. If you guys are looking, number one, this guy's great with financial advice, just for entertainment purposes, by the way. I know he'd want me to say that. But yeah. Hook It Up. It's Jamaica. I've got another joke from Jamaica. It's kind of a dirty joke, but that's all right. So I think it's okay here, If you want, I could tell you the Jamaican joke I have. There was a lovely couple that was they get on their honeymoon, that they decided that they would go down to Jamaica for their honeymoon, and the man decided that he was going to have his wife's name tattooed on his little guy. So when he was, soft, it just said WY, and when it was, in action, it said Windy across the side of it. He's very proud of it. And at the Jamaican hotel that they went to, they had a nude bar down in the downstairs. So when they went down to the nude bar, he said, "Hey, honey, it's our honeymoon. Let's go. Let's go. Let's be a little crazy." And she said, "All right, yeah, let's go." So then he was sitting next to this big Rastafarian guy. Everybody's naked at the bar, you know. And he just noticed that the guy happened to have a WY tattooed on his little guy too. And he said, "Excuse me, I don't mean to pry. I'm not looking at staring at you or anything like that. But is your girlfriend's name Wendy too?" And he says, "What do you mean, Mom?" He says, "Well, you got a WY on your." He says, "Oh, what does yours say when it's, you know, full salute?" And he says, "Mine says, 'Welcome to Jamaica. Have a nice day.'" So, da-dunch. All right, I'm gonna log out of here because I don't want to be. I think he lost it, and is what it is. But either way, there you go. Hook it if you can hear that. I'll let you finish your joke, and then I'm gonna log out, which may log the page out. But finish your joke, hook it up. I hope Mr. Burns comes back. If he doesn't, Mr. Burns, have a wonderful night, everybody. I don't want to keep his page going without him being here. I'll wait for your joke, cook it up though. A blonde, a brunette, and a redhead were trapped in a deserted island. They found a genie bottle, was granted 3 wishes. Brunette goes first. She said, "I wish I was off this island and back home." Redhead, "I wish I was off this island and back home." What does the blonde wish for? Now you got me in. Solomon, I'm assuming you're not coming up, and I'm gonna head out. Blonde says, "I wish my friends were back. I miss them." That's funny. That's funny. Hook it up. All right, you guys have a good night. I'm gonna end myself out, and that should end his live. Have a good night.